Good evening. This is a grace session. We are going to have a brief discussion on the need for grace. Great session. It is a time to remember, to recall, of course, to express our gratitude towards Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Without grace, nothing can be done so far this integral yoga is concerned. Only grace, because we already know this path of the integral yoga is a difficult one. The trading path is not as smooth as we feel, because this is the unlike other processes, unlike other faculties who are pursuing this yoga, we are here on the process of transformation and perfection. So for that, nothing can be done without really the divine grace. So here we are going to quote on divine grace. The topic of discussion is really the need for divine grace. As already we have known, grace is not an invention. It is a spiritual experience. Krupa, do and get. So what we will do and how we will get, and what we will get and how much we will get. That is, these are the things, these are the great questions put before us. By the passage of the time, this question has been again asked again and again. Often asked, most often this question is asked. But thing is that really the answer is very feeble. We don't get the true answer. For that, actually, what is we must know that grace is not an invention. Nothing you have to exercise with your mind. It is there. So it is a spiritual experience. As much as you are experiencing everything spiritually, through spiritual experience you will gain, and nothing is there for the mind to be exercised in a bold way, in a better way, or in a very difficult turmoil way, so that this grace will come. Anyway, we will ask one question was put to the mother about the need for grace. The question is very brilliant question. What is the way to accept the grace with gratitude? Already this gratitude, grace, we have little bit discussed in our recent discussion in this session. And this question, I will repeat the question again. What is the way of to accept grace with gratitude? Grace, acceptance of grace with attitude, what is the way? Mother quotes, first of all, you must feel the need for it. If it is really it is needful or not, that's what to be felt. So mother quotes, this is the most important point. You must know, you must feel the need for the grace. It is to have a certain inner humility. It is to have some inner humility which makes you aware of your helplessness without grace. You must, that is what inner call, inner preparation must be there, and that is with the aid of the grace. Otherwise, you must have the humble attitude, that you must be aware that you are helpless on progressing, proceeding, accomplishing without really grace. That truly, without it, without grace, you are incomplete and powerless. That realization must be there. Without the grace, I can do nothing. I am incomplete and powerless. This is to begin with. This is the first thing. Without grace, nothing can be done. No movement possible. I am incomplete and I am powerless. This is the first thing you must know. And again, the latter. And then, if you become aware that it is only the grace which can do that, what you can't do. What you can do, what you can do. Grace is the deciding factor. Grace is the only thing that can help you or hinder. Without grace, nothing can be done. That you must feel. That the situation in which you find yourself, from there, the grace alone can pull. Where I am standing, in which condition I am, there itself I am helpless, incomplete. So if this feeling is there, then the grace will come and pull you up from that precarious situation. You can give you the solemn and the strength to come out of it. You must get the solution and the strength. This solution and the strength, it can only be provided by the grace, nothing else. And then quite naturally an intense aspiration awakes in you. You know, you feel your situation, you know. Then you decide that grace and nothing but grace can pull me up. Then actually there must be an intense aspiration, and a latter, a consciousness which is translated into an opening. It has to come after this aspiration. You must be prepared for the opening. That is what the consciousness which is translated into an opening. If you call aspire, if you call aspire, if you hope to get the answer, you will quite naturally open yourself to the grace. Steps finally in a very single sentence, mother has kept before us. If you call, first thing. Second, aspire. Then if you hope to get the answer, third, then you will quite naturally open yourself to the grace. That is the final thing. This has to be done, and it will be done only with the this step by step procedure. I will quote it again beautifully. Mother quotes, first you have to call, there is a call, aspiration, then hope to get an answer, then quite naturally to open yourself to the grace. And a letter, again mother comes to the point. You must pay great attention to this, because opening is there, call is there, you have aspiration, you must pay attention. Mother puts her finger on her lips, and the grace will answer you. Each All sincere prayers are granted, each call is answered. So grace will answer you. The grace will pull you out of the trouble, where really, in which trouble, where you stand. You are incomplete, helpless, you can't cross, you can't surmount the difficulties. So then this grace will pull you out of the trouble, and the grace will give you the solution to your problem. Any problem really you are facing, that then you will get the solution to your problem, or will help you in getting your difficulty. Very good thing, that you will get the solution. This grace will answer you. Second, grace will put you on the out of the trouble. Third, it will give the solution to your problem and help you to get out of your difficulty. That is the great thing. But once you are free from the trouble and have come out of your difficulties, your trouble was there, difficulty was there. Once you come out of them, then what? Don't forget that it is the grace which pulled you out. Normally, what happens? The scenario what we have seen in 99.999% occasions, after you have pulled out of your trouble or getting out of your difficulties, getting the solution, normally you forget the grace, or only for a fraction of second you remember or recall, then you forget, but it must not be there. So don't think it is yourself. For this, indeed, it is important point. Most people, as soon as mother quotes, as soon as the difficulty has gone, say, after all, I pulled myself out of the difficulty quite well. I have done it. I have pulled myself, because they have forgotten that the great grace which have come, and it has rescued, it has given the solution to our problem, it has done everything for us, but actually we have forgotten that part, and on the contrary we feel, I pulled myself out of difficulty quite well, that everything I have done, that ego replaces the grace. Anyway, then what happens next? There you are, really. That is the point, that is the situation, that is the scenario, really. There you are. And mother quotes, and then you lock and bolt the door. When grace is actually replaced by your ego, you feel you have done it, instead of forgetting, instead of remembering that grace has brought a solution for me and it has pulled me out of my trouble. Then actually this you have then you lock and bolt the door. You see, you can't receive anything anymore, because this selfishness, this egoistic motive, for those only you have lost the boat, then nothing more, and no, never this grace will come back to you. You need once again some acute anguish, some terrible difficulty, whatever you are facing, still bigger, still greater. Actually, mother quotes, acute anguish, terrible difficulty, and the kind of inner stupidity to give way, and for you to realize once more that you are nothing, you can do nothing. That feeling must be there, and step by step, instead of going step by step, you are forgetting there is a gap, and after you are getting pushed into the acute problems, another difficult problems, then you come back to the grace again, because it is only when you grow aware of that you are powerless, that consciousness, that awareness must be there, you are powerless, that you begin to be just a little open and plastic, not even fully, little open and plastic. But so long as you think that what you do depends upon the skill and your own capacity, that's what again, when as long as you are feeling everything has been done as per my capacity, my efficiency and my skill, only do the close the door, that opening is gone. Because of your opening aspiration, the grace was coming. Now itself you yourself you're locking the door, you don't know, no, you are doing, but knowingly or unknowingly, for the egoistic purpose or some selfish motive, with some selfish motive. But you closed a lot of doors, one upon another, lots of door, not one or two, lots of door you are opening knowingly, and bold them. Some other quotes, you shut yourself off in a fortress. The fortress is there and you are shutting yourself, nobody is there, nobody is shutting you, nobody is creating problem, you yourself are the author of your own problem, and nothing can enter there. When that, like Mr. Ford, the great Ford, when he died, he answered, he locked his mind and stayed inside. That water bottle was not with him, that auto locked. So last in the last moment he is lamenting, the greatest man of the richest man of the world is dying for a drop of water, and the what almighty, nothing can be done, because water bottle is kept outside, that door is auto locked, so you have nothing to do. And here you are definitely and deliberately, you are opening the doors for yourself, you are shutting it up. Then mother quotes, you shut yourself in a fortress and nothing can enter there, because you have done it knowingly, and of course you have besieged you inside that fortress. There is a great drawback. One forgets very quickly. That is the tendency of man. Man normally and easily and quickly forgets everything. Quite naturally, one is satisfied with one's own capacity. He has forgotten really, I have done nothing. But for my aspiration and God's grace, really everything has been done. So that attitude must be there. Instead of requiring and of course praising this attitude, definitely we are developing egoistic attitude, for which we are being prisoned, shot in a fortress, and nothing enters inside. Anyway, it is time for us at the end point to quote few lines from Sri Aurobindo, of course. Here in the course, it does not select the righteous and reject the sinner. Nothing like this. Last evening I heard a big program here, and somebody came actually. So this he belongs to a very inferior category so far this race is concerned. So far this race is concerned. So he came after I concluded the meeting. He came and tossed my feet. I was not prepared. I know, no, I disagreed. No, you should not do it. Anyway, that chapter is closed, because in my unawareness, he has touched my feet. It was very much, very much. It is a bad thing. I will discuss. I will before you. I think it is in my part. To go for the atonement, it should not have done, because he has done already. I was standing from the backside. He came and tossed my feet. What real, my friend? No, he told, I have heard the speech. It is very much, actually, it creates a lot of enthusiasm, courage in us. I am totally changed. I think the great Divine Mother is coming down to bless us in his own language, because he is unpowered, not that much intelligent, nothing like this. Simple child, no study, nothing. But actually, I feel, he says, I feel the great World Mother has come down to bless us like this. I told, okay, you sit, have some darshan, you will have some prasad, and you will go. No, no, sir, I belong to a very inferior category. So far, this race is concerned, I can't go. Just imagine, God is not, Jagannath went to the Chandala's house, for that Lakshmi Thakurani. So many ways that the story has been described every certain year, every Thursday we keep asking, we worshipping this occasion, Guru Bare, Lakshmi Puja, like this. So, but thing is that still that custom, everything exists, it is unavoidable. It is incredible. I can't believe. And this man actually he left the scenario and he had a great sastanga pranam from outside to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, but he did not stay because he felt if people touch me, then likely their sentiment will be changed, but not mine. Just imagine who is great, he or we people. Then here Mother quotes, it does not select any righteous or reject any sinner. That is a thing. Like sunbeam, it is every time it is coming and touching earth, it is not bearing the unfortunate, and it is not come and selecting the righteous or great or love, God's loved ones. Nothing like this. It touches everywhere. It goes everywhere. Like sunbeam, we can see that wind, air. It never chooses. River is flowing. That flow, that water, it does not differentiate between the sinner and the virtuous. So like this, the grace they never selects the righteous and reject the sinner. God's grace is more difficult to have and or keep, to have or keep than the nectar of the immortals. Most of the time we boast of the immortals, that is for the nectar. There was a big tussle between the demons and the gods, so many ways, still that tussle is going on. Rahu and Ketu, they have taken the nectar, they feel to be immortals like this. But thing is that, but you see, Aurobindo clarifies, God's grace is difficult, more difficult and to have or to keep. No, God's grace is more difficult to have and or keep than the nectar of the immortals. Nectars can be achieved, but God's grace is difficult. But it is also simple because to share the divine grace, Mother is there. She is actually embodiment of the divine divinity, and she is pouring divine grace upon us and filling our gulfs. So difference between knowledge and ignorance is the grace of the spirit. Great thing. Difference between the knowledge and the ignorance, capital K and capital I. The major difference which stands between the grace and knowledge and ignorance, that is the grace of the spirit. And Sri Aurobindo quotes, strength, if it is spiritual, is a power of spiritual realization. Strength, if it is spiritual, if material does not matter, if it is spiritual, as a power of spiritual realization. Greater power is still greater power is sincerity, and the greatest is grace. So Sri Aurobindo compares upon three things. One is strength, second is sincerity, and the third is grace. Strength, if it is spiritual, if it is not spiritual, we should not consider or concentrate more. So strength, if it is spiritual, the power for spiritual realization. Second, greater is sincerity, and the greatest is of all is the grace. Again, this divine grace and power can do everything, but with the full assent of the sadhaka. You must be very much conscious, you must be well aware, and you must be open. And finally, you must have the aspiration for that, you must be there. So, here in the course, divine grace and power can do everything. It can do everything, whatever you like, it is possible and it can do. But thing is that with the full assent of the sadhaka. If there is no assent, then how can it act? That must be taken care of, that must be fully understood, that must be finally taken into consideration, because without this, nothing great can be done. So I'll try to quote it again. The divine grace and the power can do everything, everything, and everything means in whatever required in the spiritual path, spiritual progress, spiritual development, it can do everything for you, but with the assent of the sadhaka, that is the precondition, pre-criteria. And again, Sri Aurobindo goes forward, another term uses supreme grace, divine grace, only grace. So here Sri Aurobindo moves little forward, maybe towards the optimum. And the supreme grace will actually in the conditions of the light and the truth. Without the light and the truth, the preconditions are light and the truth. Light is capital L and the truth is capital T. So the condition is capital L light and the capital T truth. So with these conditions, with these requirements, with this preparation, the supreme grace only can act. Without the truth and the light, this supreme grace will never act. For that, you must be prepared. You must prepare yourself. The supreme grace will act only in the conditions of the light and the truth. The more one develops in psychic, the more it is possible for the grace to act. So everything again and again the same thing. So far this integral yoga is concerned, psychic, psychic, psychic. Anyway, time to stop here. Vande Matram.